Alright, YouTube, we're back, of course, talking some Remake Part 3. We found out something pretty interesting in regards to the third game, and it said it seems like the voice recording is starting, at least for the English side of things. I heard almost exactly a year ago, April of last year, Nomura mentioned in the Rebirth Ultimania that he was thinking the voice recording was going to start very soon for Remake Part 3. I'm not sure if I mentioned in the video we did back then about this, or if I've even thought about it until today, but he could have just been talking about the Japanese side of things, because we've heard from, like, John Eric Bentley and I believe Brianna White, that a lot of times when they're doing their voice recording stuff, they'll like listen to the Japanese recording to kind of get an idea of sort of what they're going for with the scene and things like that, to kind of bounce off of what the Japanese side of stuff is doing, which might make sense. That, you know, they've been for the last like year or so maybe doing the Japanese side of things, and we're just not getting to like the English stuff. Also, what's important about the voice recording starting now for Part 3 is that it might give us an idea potentially of when the marketing could kick off for the next game. So anyways, what we have here is our boy Cody Christian, the voice of Cloud Strife, the GOAT himself. Posted on his Instagram story, and he says that he's happy to be back with his best friend, and there's like a little like picture or whatever you call the shit on Instagram of like Cloud. So here we have the picture. Of course, Cody's just an attractive man. It's unfair that some people are born to look like that, and I gotta look like this. But I mean, without even like breaking down the picture itself, the fact that he talked about being back with his best friend, and it's a picture of Cloud or whatever little image of Cloud. Clearly, he's recording for something in regards to FF7. If it's not Part 3, what the hell else would it be? But also, because of the background, we know for a fact that he's at Skylark Sound Studios. I only know this shit because we've been doing videos like this for a long time on the channel, right? Post-remake, looking for any kind of information in regards to Part 2 and shit. Anytime, like, your Baron posted some images sometimes, or like Erica and Beck, and the backgrounds matched for both of them. And then we know that they did voiceover work at Skylark Sound Studios, and like looking up images of that shit on Google, kind of matching the background of their, you know, pictures versus what the studio looks like and shit. We've been in the trenches for a long time. Here's an image we did a video on some time ago, I think more than 2 years ago at this point, with Britt Baron recording. And if you look at the background, you can see the blue walls, but also those kind of rounded things that I imagine are there to reverberate sound or some shit. Also, the carpet in the bottom right of the image is important too. And if you put the images side by side, you can see the same blue walls behind Cody and the rounded things. They look a bit different. He could be in a different room. They could have also changed the layout a bit. It's obviously been more than 2 years since we did that video. And just for the hell of it, here's an image from the Skylark Sound Studios website of one of their studios. I believe it's Studio B specifically. And of course, the blue walls, the carpet, the round things on the wall. None of what we just did was necessary because Cody himself clarified that he's doing voiceover work for Cloud, but it's kind of felt like doing it. We haven't broke down like, you know, a voice actor selfie in a while. Which, speaking of that, that's probably the first time that that's been a thing. I feel like every time we've ever done this before in the past, we're always just kind of hopeful, right? We're just hoping that Erica Lindbeck or Britt Baron were doing voiceover work for something involving FF7, but it could have been for other projects. So they do a lot of other stuff. Obviously, Erica Lindbeck does a shit ton of anime. When it comes to Cody, he's outright confirming that he's doing something for FF7, something for Cloud Strife, right? Which at the same time, even if he didn't, he doesn't do voiceover work for anything else. At least game-wise, it's only FF7 shit. Maybe he's done like animated shit. I don't know. I don't think he has without looking at his wiki. It seems as of today that the voiceover work has started for Remake Part 3, at least on the English side of stuff. And it's possible they could have been doing it this entire time for a while, you know. Maybe this is just the first time he decided to do a fucking selfie with it or something. Who knows? I suppose it's technically possible that it could be for something else in regards to FF7. It might not have to be for Part 3. Maybe DLC, you know. We know people scoffed at the idea of them doing DLC for, you know, Part 2 for Rebirth. But we heard from the devs themselves, you know, that there was at least an idea from Hamaguchi that they wanted to do a DLC at one point. You know, because of getting confirmation from Hamaguchi that they wanted to do that, I'm still not fully writing off them doing a DLC at some point. I'm just going to throw that out there. And then it could be for something else entirely, too. There could be some other fucking FF7 project that we're not aware of. But obviously, Part 3 is the priority. So it's 99.9% certain what it is. In terms of potential marketing when it comes to Remake Part 3, this is purely anecdotal, just based off of like time frame shit. But we did a video back in November of 2020 where we talked about Baron voice recording selfie or whatever, and we got to the marketing of Rebirth in summer of 2023. So the video I mentioned we did on November 24th, 2022, and we started getting those like random developer comments on Twitter in June of 2023. So from November of 2022 to June of 2023, 7 months. Kind of funny how that works out, right? FF7, 7 months, whatever. So it kind of gives us an idea potentially when voice recording happens and when they start marketing for games. Who knows? So April of 2025, 7 months from now, maybe November. It's a lot later than what we were hoping or expecting, but maybe. But there is a bit of an outlier when it comes to, you know, Part 3 and when it comes to Rebirth, and that was the 25th anniversary live stream that they did, where they obviously talked about a lot of FF7 stuff. That's where we got the reveal of, you know, it being a trilogy, but also the name of Rebirth, of Remake Part 2, right? And that's something that I'm not sure how they're going to do it with the third game. Also, when it came to that live stream, we got a teaser trailer for FF7 Rebirth, and that was, pretty long time before we actually got to the release of the game, and actually, almost exactly a year before we got to the marketing of Rebirth. So, who's to say when we might get like a title reveal or a teaser trailer versus them actually kicking off the official marketing of the third game? Obviously, talked about it quite a bit on the channel, but a lot of people are hopeful for something this summer, like a teaser trailer, a title reveal, something along those lines, kind of following the trajectory of Rebirth's marketing. And then you get into the marketing sometime next year, 2026, then the game comes out 2027, 30th anniversary. It all adds up. Actually, I also seen it pointed out by somebody earlier on Reddit that if it comes out in 2027, that's also the 40th anniversary of the Final Fantasy franchise, 1987, 2027, but also the 7th anniversary of Remake. So on top of it being the 30th anniversary for FF7 itself, there's so many reasons why it should come out in 2027. Also, to kind of further add to the Remake Part 3 discussion here, we actually had the mocap actors doing some shit the other day, posting some kind of cryptic tweets that maybe potentially could be the live stream scene. But real quick, shout out to Nights into Dreams for linking me to the tweets. I'd seen them the other day, but I didn't save them. So Dia posted this the other day on April 20th. So Nico, Haruka Shibai, Tifa's mocap actress, Katsuyuki Yamazaki, Cloud's mocap actor, they all posted this on the same day yesterday, so April 19th. Is this the live stream scene? So on the right, of course, we have some auto-translate type shit that we're used to on the channel here. Just kind of going through like the highlighted parts, some very long lines, putting emotion to them during my free time at work. I put all my energy into both work and play. Long scene. The dialogue expresses a lot of heart. We carefully crafted every word so the characters' feelings could be conveyed. I spoke the lines a lot yesterday. Only 2 actors. An important scene that we were on all day. Variety of roles. We had the Tifa and Cloud mocap actors talking the other day about, doing something with a lot of like emotion, a lot of lines, a lot of dialogue, only 2 characters, 2 actors, whatever. So, a lot of people pointed to the live stream scene. There could be other emotional moments and scenes between, Cloud, Tifa in the next game, of course. But the one that does come to mind is the live stream sequence where it is just Cloud and Tifa. We also had Cloud's mocap actor posting this around the same time. It says, now there's going to be a lot of talking during today's cutscene shoot. Let's do our best. With an image where he's giving a thumbs up to a clock that says 8:11. And if you don't know, 8:11 is Cloud's birthday. The obvious implication there, the little Easter egg he gave us, would be that he's doing something in regards to Cloud Strife. So Part 3 stuff. I also mentioned that he's doing a lot of like talking with the shoot he's doing that day, which if we're just kind of running with the live stream sequence idea, then there's a lot of dialogue there. It's a pretty long sequence, right? I think with the original FF7, the live stream sequence is from beginning to end like a little over 20 minutes, like 22, 23 minutes or something like that. So if you're modernizing that, right, with a modern script or whatever, like I'm kind of curious how long it's going to be. Just to kind of throw it out there in the video, I guess. I did also look at like Britt Baron, Brianna White, John Eric Bentley, like some of the other voice actors, like Instagrams and shit. And there's nothing on their stories, at least as of recording. Nothing at all. There's not anything in general in the past 24 hours. So I'm kind of curious if like Cody's the only one doing voice acting work right now, or if the other ones are. It can make some sense that maybe he's starting before the other people because he is the main character. He has the most lines in the game, so maybe he's starting a little bit early. I don't know. Just want to throw it out there though. As far as I'm aware, my dudes, that is it for today's video. I don't know if we're going to get any more selfies in the next coming days from some of the other voice actors from Skylark Sound Studios. If that does happen, you bet your ass I'll make a video. Voice recording for Remake Part 3 seems to have started today, at least with our boy Cody Christian. It's exciting. Maybe that means we'll get something in the relative near future. That's the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Social networks in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, @SaveYT. That's it. Bye. All I'm saying is it's not fair. Why can I not look like this?
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Low Gain or leave it like Cobain.